Alright, fools, time for episode 6 of Dragon Ball Super. This episode is called Don't Anger the God of Destruction, the Heart-Pounding Birthday Party. Alright, now this this is actually a pretty interesting episode. I've gotta say I enjoyed this one quite a bit, actually. Probably more so than even the last episode, even though the last one had a big-time fight in it. So this episode opens up with Goku on King Kai's planet. And he's fully healed. How exactly he was healed is not entirely clear. But he does kind of, like, he's sitting there talking and he's like, he wonders if even training enough will be enough to defeat Beerus. He wonders if he should go back to Earth to help Vegeta and the others, so that Beerus doesn't decide to blow up the planet. And he's just sitting on top of King Kai's house wondering what his next move will be. At this point, it switches over to the party, and we see a bunch of shenanigans that are taking place. There's a comical moment where Krillin and Oolong are having some sort of, like, eating competition, and, like, they're trying to fit, like, more and more hot dogs into each other's mouths like that. It's pretty funny. But then it cuts over to Vegeta, and Vegeta is apparently very, very nervous about Beerus, and, like, he pulls back, and, like, he looks at his hand, and he wonders, like, why he could be so scared, and the fact that Goku is defeated in only 2 hits is proof. And at this point, Beerus sort of begins, but he's toying with Vegeta, like, he's, like, teleporting back and forth and, like, whispering. It kind of reminded me of what Android 18 and 17 did to future Trunks in the History of Trunks movie. But then it's very, very baffling to me. After Beerus, basically, he teleports behind Vegeta, and then he says bang, like, pretending like he's gonna shoot an energy blast. And, like, it scares Vegeta, and Beerus kind of laughs and says, I could have killed you that moment. And Vegeta charges Beerus, and then Beerus uses some sort of psychic power to kind of, paralyze Vegeta to the ground. But I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, they made Vegeta look like the biggest fucking idiot in the world. King Kai basically got off the telepathic phone with Vegeta, like, 3 minutes ago, and then Vegeta's just charging Beerus. It's like, Vegeta, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I didn't like that. That wasn't in Battle of the Gods. In Battle of the Gods, as soon as Beerus showed up, Vegeta knew what was going on. Here, Vegeta is acting like a fucking dumbass. But after Vegeta is paralyzed, he actually has a flashback to where he knows the name Beerus, and he's seen Beerus before. And we see long, long ago, before Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta and killed King Vegeta, Beerus is tormenting King Vegeta, and King Vegeta is on all fours, and Beerus has his foot on his head, and you could see that there is a feast prepared in the background, and Beerus is on King Vegeta because King Vegeta did not provide Beerus with the softest pillow in the world, which is what he demanded. And he even, like, makes claims. He's like, I don't care what planet you have to take over. I don't care who you have to kill. I want the softest pillow in the world. And then he says, did you think I wouldn't notice that you gave me the second best pillow in the world? And it's like, wow, okay, Beerus. I guess you are just really the biggest asshole of all time. And then you see young Prince Vegeta in the background kind of watching this. And he charges Beerus, and Beerus paralyzes him in much the same way that just happened in present day. And then it cuts forward to Vegeta on the ground in present day. And Beerus walks up to him and asks him if he knows who the Super Saiyan God is. And Vegeta tells him he doesn't. He doesn't know who that is. And then at that moment, Bulma walks up. And Beerus and Whis introduce themselves as friends of Vegeta, who were passing by and realized Vegeta was on the planet. And it's funny because Bulma's actually like, oh wow, Vegeta has friends, huh? And then this leads to a whole bunch of comedy, like Bulma introduces Beerus and Whis to the party, And like Beerus is so polite with Bulma, it's like real weird. And then you see Vegeta like hiding in the bushes, and he's like, I can't let anyone fuck this up. And he looks at Piccolo first, and then he looks at Fat Buu as far as possible people who could really create a problem with Beerus and spoil his mood. So, then we see like a scene of like Yamcha kind of wraps his arm around Beerus and he's talking with him, and he's like, yeah, I know we're both fighters and stuff, but just to let you know, I'm the strongest fighter around. And he's like, but hey, lighten up, man. Then he kind of smacks Beerus on the back, and like it jolts Beerus a little bit, and like Vegeta's reaction is just hilarious. But at this point, Krillin runs in with like a new food that's got wasabi in it. And then it's funny because Vegeta is in the background like, oh shit, no, not wasabi. He's gonna freak out from the wasabi. And Beerus eats it, but it doesn't bother him because, wasabi is extremely, extremely hot. And everyone all eats wasabi and they're all good. But then, unfortunately, my boy Krillin has a piece of wasabi and he, like, starts breathing fire. And I was like, oh, come on. They gotta do this again? Have Yamcha eat the wasabi and breathe the fire, not Krillin. Don't make Krillin look like a fool. Krillin's already had it tough enough. And Krillin is stronger than Yamcha, too. Then, in one of the strangest parts of the episode, it shows B. That is the dog who was shot and almost killed by the ruthless gunman towards the end of Dragon Ball Z that, almost made Buu turn in the evil Buu, but then he healed the dog. And, Hercule, Mr. Satan, and Fat Buu, they adopt the dog, B, and they keep B with them. And we see B using, like, the same kind of telescope machine, whatever, that Master Roshi and Oolong were using earlier. And I was just like, what the fuck? Why is this dog using this? What is the dog hoping to find out in the middle of the sea? It's just the most bizarre, out of place scene in the show. Like, it was funny, though. At this point, we see a little bit of Goten and Trunks are kind of having like a water gun fight. And then Beerus and Whis are discussing Goten, Trunks, and Gohan as half Saiyans. And at this point, Vegeta jumps out of nowhere, providing Beerus with more food, and he's kind of like raising it above his head like a servant. And at this point, Beerus says like, oh, where's the Super Saiyan God? My stomach is full. I need to go home and take a nap. And Vegeta's like, yes, go back to your planet, take a nap, please. And it's very interesting. Beerus asks who is the guy in King Kai's planet, and Whis tells him, Goku. And then Beerus asks Vegeta what sort of relationship do you have with him, and Vegeta says it could be said that we are enemies. And I thought it's interesting that, remember, this is just after the Kid Buu fight, like, come on, Vegeta and Goku aren't enemies. And then Beerus actually says the Saiyans have changed since I've known them. Now they appear to be quite cowardly, and I was just like, wow, that exchange was kind of strange. But then Trunks and Goten with their water fight, Trunks accidentally shoots Beerus with water, and he gets infuriated, and like he's eating food and it knocks the food out of his hand, and like he powers up and he has his like dark, like blackish purple aura, and like he's, ready to blow up the planet or whatever. And at this moment, Vegeta like starts screaming and powers up and flies off the boat into the water. And he actually, like, Beerus and Whis are like, what is he doing? And then he flies out with an octopus, tosses it up in the air, shoots it with what looks to be a Gallic gun or maybe a Big Bang attack. And so it blows the octopus up so that there's only one tentacle. And then in a very comedic way, Vegeta lands and begins cooking it up. And Beerus lands and he's like, in an atmosphere like this, I can no longer be irritated. And you see, like, everyone's gathering around Vegeta, like, impressed that he's cooking. And Bulma's even like, oh, you vindicated yourself cooking for your wife on her birthday. And it's all pretty interesting. But then Whis asks Beerus if Beerus has had pudding. And Beerus is like, pudding? What is that? That sounds like the greatest, delicacy dessert ever. And so Whis and Beerus go to have some pudding, but Majin Buu has all the pudding, and Weiss very politely asks if they could have some. He says, we're from a faraway planet, we don't know when the next time we'll be back and we can have some. And Buu licks every single, bottle of pudding. And at this point, Beerus begins to get fucking infuriated. And Fat Buu says, I am strong, so I will eat. Like, this is all mine because I'm stronger than you. And it's funny, Mr. Satan gets up and he's like, oh, wait. And then both Beerus and Fat Buu are like, you're bothering us. And, they push him away. And then Beerus and Buu start fighting. And Buu, he punches Beerus straight in the face. It does nothing. And then Beerus just grabs him, does some sort of cyclone throw, throws him up in the air, catches him, and then, shoots him with an energy beam. And it seemingly kills him, but, it's Fat Buu, so obviously he should be able to regenerate. And that's how the episode ends, with Vegeta looking there like, oh, fuck. Beerus is now gonna blow the damn planet up. And that's how the episode ends. I really like this episode. The Dragon Ball comedy was in full effect here. It really worked. I actually really enjoyed this episode. There definitely were some moments of the not as good animation as earlier in the series. The first, 3 or 4 episodes were much better drawn than this one still. But, since there was no fighting, there wasn't really an opportunity for the animations to be the worst. And then in the preview for the next episode, it looks like shit is really about to go down. We see Piccolo, Tien, Ultimate Gohan, Android 18, all, attacking Beerus. We see a glimpse of Fat Buu again, so he definitely is not dead. And then, the last shot, we see Vegeta turning Super Saiyan 2. So the next episode is going to continue this. It also shows Gotenks, so that could be pretty exciting. So we've at last pretty much reached the end of the sort of, playing around portion of the show, and looks like the next, 3, 4, 5 episodes are going to be battles. And we are getting close. It's going to be pretty soon that Super Saiyan God is going to appear.